All right, and we are back. What's up, you guys? We've hit roughly, well, actually, over 2,000 website visitors. I've been seeing the rankings actually pop off in the one-on-one space. It's been on mid-range, the Ellis, the ABC crew, bunch of different discords. It's been looking pretty successful so far. So appreciate the support. However, I've seen a common issue within the Instagram post video. Well, not my video. Y'all are cool. Y'all are cool in my video. Mid ranges video, Bielis, ABC crew. People don't know how the rankings work. And generally, it's because they haven't read this. As you can see at the top of the screen, it says rules and documentation, right? It's pretty big. You can also see it from here at the top. You can also go to the dashboard, and this right here, I'm not sure if y'all saw this, says rules. Just wanted to emphasize this. I don't expect you guys to actually go back here and read it. I'll be updating these rules as I continue to make these algorithm changes. But yeah, because I've seen a lot of things, a lot of different talking points that are already discussed within the rules page or my original video. So I thought it'd be good to just have this rules video out. That way, again, it gives people another avenue of seeing what the rules are, why rankings are the way they are, how players can rank up, etc. So let's get into this. Skill does matter more than size. Uh, let's Context enhances understanding without creating barriers. So like event tiers, playing up and down should be normal, shouldn't be exceptional. So take like a lat playing DJO. Rankings should never be for sale. The algorithm should be explainable in plain language, and that is what I'm going to attempt to do today. And then consistent performance, matters more than single big wins. So let's get into this. How is your rank calculated? You have a performance score and you have a resume score. Performance score is what you think a performance. Think C4 beating Isote by 30 to 6, whatever the score was. Then you have a resume score. This is what you actually accomplished. Think like a Nas, a Scoob, Kel, Moon, etc. All these guys have played a ton of games, but they've still been pretty positive. They beat in top tier competition. Not all games are equal. So, games of 30, twos and threes are weighted the most out of all the game types. Pay-per-views also weighted the most. I don't think this is explanatory, and eventually weight belts when I added to the page. Shout out Bruce and shout out Keem. Platform quality. So I've heard the question of, okay, what about all these mini pay-per-views popping up like a Pepe and Hitman Hall event? You'll still get credit for it. It'll still be above a regular game, but it may not be as much as a TNC and off the dribble. Like, see, I don't even have off the dribble. And then Ball is Life. I'll be updating this page soon. These pay-per-view games are obviously on the big three platforms are going to be weighted more in S tier, while a Pep Hitman Hall event A tier, kind of like a TNC League game, a live TNC League game. And then regular games still count as well. So I've heard a lot of people say, man, why is they ranked so low? And that is a reasonable question. Don't get me wrong, that's very reasonable. But Zay played Nas, he played Scoob, it was games to 11, and they're not weighted the most. Doesn't mean his game isn't weighted at all, though. He's still beating top tier competition, which is why he's still so high. Rankings are locked in time. So I've heard this. Zay beat Nas and Scoob in 24 hours or 48 hours, something like that. 48 hours. Cool. If they were number one, number two, whatever rank they were. Whenever you beat someone like that, within that time frame, you're still going to get that time frame's credit applied to your current score now. So Niles is number one back then, and Zay beat him. Guess what? Zay is going to be given credit for that number one win. Same thing goes for losses too, though. So maybe Lamar just steps onto the scene, or Eugene just steps onto the scene and beats Scoob, right? But then Eugene jumps up and he becomes a top five player. Scoob losing to Eugene isn't going to be weighted as bad as him just losing to a random unranked dude. And then this preserves fairness over time, so that way guys aren't going to always be flip flopping up and down. When you beat somebody who's number one at that time, you're going to be given a number one bonus. Again, let me say it again because people keep saying I'm being biased towards certain players. Really, just putting games in, and the algorithm does this thing as I update it. But you beat someone at that period of time, and they're ranked pretty high, you're going to be given credit for it. And if you lose to somebody and they eventually become ranked pretty high, because obviously they must be pretty good to get to top 10, top 5, you're going to be given credit for it. Now, what happens when players are tied in their score? Now we have head to head as a tiebreaker. So if they played each other, so let's take Bruce. I saw Tay use this example before. They have the exact same score, but hey, Tay beat Bruce. Okay, Tay's over. Or let's take like Lat Cam, something like that. Pay per view wins if they haven't played each other. So who's won more, and also what's their percentage within a pay per view too. You can't just ideally. Hopefully, it won't get to this point where a bunch of guys are just stacking up pay per views, but they're not really winning, but they're always getting invites back. Ideally, it won't be that way. So we'll see. Or winning against low tier competition, but yeah, it won't just be just wins. Quality win bonus. How are you performing against top 10 competition, top 25 competition, top 5 competition, I will say too. Head to head point differential. So your head to head record is tied, then we'll see what's the differential between these matchups. So what's a good example of this? If Cam plays Lat and then Day Day plays Lat and Cam and Day Day are tied, if Cam perform better against Lat, then he will get the boost. And then a performance score, just overall how you're performing against your competition compared to everybody else. Again, this one is self-explanatory. What helps and hurts your rank, we'll zoom by this. Playing games of 30, winning pay-per-view games, beating guys ranked higher than you or high-ranked opponents in general, being active and consistent, beating players who are where you're playing up in weight classes, building a strong head-to-head record against basically like guys within your bubble, I would say. So if you're top 20 within that range, and then getting quality wins too. What hurts your rank? Losing to lower ranked opponents. Obviously, avoiding ranked competition, only playing in low tier events, stat padding. So I heard this too, where a person said, "Hey, Rob and Zay, you guys can go out and play plumbers, go play bums, and you guys are gonna rank based up on this." If we read this here, that's not going to work. Losing frequently in pay-per-views. You can't lose pay-per-views and expect to just keep your rank. And then having a poor head-to-head record against similarly ranked opponents. All right, and I've covered this in the last video, ranking authorities, so we can go over oversight maybe. So I'll be correcting scores as I go. People point them out to me every couple days now, which is cool. Or I'm updating games too, updating dates. So I'm human. I may make mistakes, but I'll be correcting these, and you may see slight shifts within the algorithm. But overall, they should relatively flatline out as I get these games in. Also, check out the page. If you haven't been there yet, just check out. I've made a couple of different algorithm changes. I think that right now it's probably the best it's ever been. So check it out. And then for detailed reference, you guys can go through these. We have weight classes on here. I covered it in my last video. We have height bands, 5'7", 5'10", 6. You get the point. Event tiers. We have the actual technical details of these tiers and how they rank up. And I'll be updating these too as I make these algorithm changes. That way, everything that you guys see over here is given to you. I'm not gonna say one thing and then stab you in the back. No, you'll be able to see this, come here and be like, oh, okay, so that's probably why this guy's ranked lower than somebody else. And yeah, I would say that's basically it. If you haven't already, like the video, join the Discord. It'll be in the description. Check it out. I'll be saying what types of updates I make there. You'll be able to get a hold of me probably easier just talking to me in the Discord. Shout out to homie Trees for helping me make the Discord. Anson, Graybeard, Mid, all of you guys, everybody there. But yeah, that's basically it. I will see you guys in the next video.